Senator, let's bring in Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn for more on this. Senator, the president went up to Congress, hat in hand. Looks like he's going to go back to the White House with just his hat and nothing in it. Kyrsten Sinema on the Senate floor gave a speech that was widely applauded by Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, saying, I'm all for this voting rights bill, but I'm not for nuking the filibuster in the Senate. And so it looks like President Biden is not going to have, or Chuck Schumer for that matter, won't have the votes to bring this to the floor. What do you make of everything that they're trying to do here?
Well, none of this should be a surprise. This is what Senator Sinema, Senator Manchin have said all along, and other unnamed senators who have not wanted to be the sort of the spear catcher on this have remained quiet, but have silently, or at least confidentially, communicated their concerns. It's a terrible idea to eliminate the requirement that we pass bipartisan consensus legislation before we make it the law of the land. That's what the filibuster does. It requires us to work together, which is not necessarily our first instinct. It also is something that is the frustration of every majority party, but it's important that all senators, even those from the minority party, get to participate, and that we have consensus legislation rather than partisan legislation coming out of the Senate.
Senator, great to see you. There's been a lot of action on the Hill this week, including obviously the president's big speech on Tuesday. And we look back at campaigning Joe Biden, and he promised to unify this country. He ran as a moderate, said he would unify the American people, yet he delivered this speech on Tuesday, comparing Republicans to segregationists. Listen.
History has never been kind to those who've sided with voter suppression over voters' rights. Do you want to be on the side of John Lewis or Bull Connor? Do you want to be on the side of Abraham Lincoln or Jefferson Davis? This is the moment to decide, to defend our elections, to defend our democracy.
McConnell then delivered a speech a day later, firing back at the president, calling his speech unpresidential, saying his words were unbecoming of a president. What say you about the president's speech on Tuesday?
Well, I was embarrassed for President Biden. Obviously, this is not his natural instinct. Those of us who worked with him in the Senate, I think he was told, you need to deliver this message to our partisan base in the Democratic Party. But it was unbecoming of a president. And I think it was a sign of the desperation that they're feeling with the 33% approval rating under the Quinnipiac poll. And that's a trend that's been going down. And coming up on the prospect of the midterm elections, I think they're worried, and they should be worried, that this presidency, this administration has been, by and large, unsuccessful in doing anything constructive, but dedicated purely to partisan political power.
Yesterday, Mitch McConnell took aim at President Biden, but last night, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina took aim at Mitch McConnell, saying that he needs to learn how to get along with President Trump, or he's not going to have a very productive 2 years, 2022 to 2024. Listen to what the senator said last night.
I'm not going to vote for anybody for leader of the Senate as a Republican unless they can prove to me that they can advocate an American first agenda and have a working relationship with President Trump, because if you can't do that, you will fail.
Lindsey Graham saying that he wouldn't vote for him to be leader of the Senate Republicans, Senate Majority Leader, if indeed Republicans take back the Senate. You are one of the names that comes up frequently as a potential replacement for Mitch McConnell. How do you feel about this issue?
Well, first of all, I support Mitch McConnell. I think he's been a good leader. But the Republican Party is a big enough party for people of different views. And I understand the differences that the president and Senator McConnell have had in the past. But the one way to address that is to focus on things we agree on first. And the most important thing we can agree on, I'm sure President Trump and Senator McConnell, is we need to win the majority back in the 2022 elections. We need to build a firewall against the bad policies that have come out of the Biden administration. And I think the best way to do that is to work together to achieve that majority. We did a lot of good working together, 230 federal judges. We passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, had the best economy in my lifetime before COVID-19 hit. And we can do that again by finding things where we can work together.
Senator John Cornyn of the great state of Texas, appreciate you joining us today.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Senator. Good to see you.